what it is.
Off you.
Yo. Yeah, that sometimes helps, Ryan. Sometimes helps. Check, baby. Check one. Check, check, check two. Rolling on one. The excluded middle. Ryan and Ryan. No longer in the back shack. And we're in the bunker.
In the bunker.
In the bunker. Underground. Underground is where we are. It's nice and cool down here, though. It is nice and cool. So it is a plus.
Yeah. It's gross outside.
Well, it's a little toasty out there. The sun is shining. For sure it is. Huh. Turning mine up just a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. So it's Sunday in our world.
It is Sunday. Sunday fun day.
We might post this by Wednesday.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe tonight. Who knows?
Never know.
How's your weekend been?
Man, it's been good. It has been good. It's always good. So, just kind of chilling. I did a little bit of running. Did a little bit of bike riding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not terrible.
I was going to go hit some weights, but I didn't do that. Figured I'll save that for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Of course.
But and I've been trying to actually wake up and run in the mornings.
That's a little cooler.
Man, yeah. Which, and I'm always one that's like, man, I'd rather run in the heat because I like my sleep. So you'll see me out there running in 105, just because I enjoy my sleep. I like my sleep. But I don't know. There is something to that morning run, I believe. I woke up, I want to say Wednesday morning and ran, Thursday morning, Friday morning, Saturday morning. And I don't know, I might take that back. Maybe it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I didn't wake up this morning and run. I'll probably do that later this evening. So, but there is something to that morning run. I don't know. I get up and it's so hard to get up, but I start thinking, it's like, well, man, I can knock out, 3 or 4 miles as long as I'm on that street by, 5:15 in the morning. I can get a good run in, still get, back and shower, get to work. And I don't know, you feel, I don't know, maybe it's something about just stacking that early wind. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know. I think I'd have to look it up, but almost like my body feels a little different by getting that run first thing in the morning. I'd have to look up the science behind that. But there's, I don't know, something about getting that aerobic exercise in, right when you wake up.
Yeah.
I get up, get moving and
your body up.
Hit the run. And then when I get done, I feel a little bit more energized. I don't know. The body just feels a little different than it does, when I wait for my runs later on.
Yeah.
And it seems like I'm sleeping better because a lot of times I'll save it for later in the day and then I'll get that run in and then it's hard to go to sleep.
I can see that because you run a lot. So if I went for a run, I would come home and immediately die. The heat's been getting me. I don't know why as the years tick on, and some of it is probably being out of shape. I'll rarely admit that, but I'm not even the biggest right now that I've ever been in my life. I mean, I've been bigger than this. I do think that weight plays a role, but I was 330 working all summer I drove truck for the majority of it with no AC, but we're on harvest crew, and I don't know how I gained so much weight while I was there, but I did. My boss's wife cooked for us 3 meals a day.
Oh, dang, that'll do it.
Yeah, we ate like farm kids for sure.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it. Corn-fed, buddy.
It was, and it was all. There were times where it was bar burgers or McDonald's, but most of the time she cooked for us. And there wasn't a single guy skinny when they left. I mean, I've always been big, but I don't know. We spent some time outside yesterday at the lake, and I just felt sick when I got home.
You're probably not acclimated to the high temps. You know what I mean? Because when it gets hot outside, you're probably inside, and you're not really getting out in the hot weather. Like if I just go out there and just get in the heat, it drains me. But if you slowly start getting active and staying in that sun and working and moving, you kind of get adjusted to it.
Well, I've never hung out in the heat by choice. Just saying. Trisha loves it. She loves it when it's hot. She grew up on a beach though, and so that changes everything.
Yeah, taking the sunshine, those rays.
I spent a lot of time on the farm, but man, you get in an air conditioned tractor, you do everything you can to stay in there.
Yeah, they
know?
man, going back to country cooking, man, I love me some country cooking. I do.
Missed a good breakfast this morning.
Man, I had eggs for breakfast. That's all I had, eggs. I think I had three eggs this morning.
My water's frozen.
Oh, dang. Huh. That's good.
Very strange.
But I do like some good country cooking, man.
Oh yeah. Oh, I eat out a lot.
Like tea rolls. I remember back in the day we used to have what they called them. I want to say they called them tea rolls. And my one of my aunts, great aunts, I want to say, maybe, I don't know. She would come. We'd go hunting. So it was always like opening day pheasant season, man. She would always bring in these tea rolls, man. They're like it's like a pastry in a roll, but man, they are so delicious. And I haven't had one in years.
Yeah.
And that was like one thing we look forward to, man. Is those tea rolls.
Interesting. I think every family has like that certain thing that grandma cooks that only grandma cooks. And you talk about it somewhere else and they have no idea what it even is. Max, why don't you go? Go. They can't see you on camera anyways. I totally forgot about him.
Max is a beast, man.
Max.
Max is a beast. Yeah, I'm talking about you, sir.
I hope he runs over all those cables and just crashes everything.
Dude, he would too, man. Yeah.
So yeah, all in all, it's been a good weekend. I was totally grumpy yesterday. I didn't really want to go in the sun, and then I did. I had a great time. We went to a wedding, which I just love weddings, dude. I mean, there's things that happen there, and it was I would say a Christian wedding. You know, I mean, it wasn't like suit and ties at the lake.
Yeah.
You know, and people were dressed nice. I mean, I even wore a button-up shirt, but just seeing everybody having a good time. And I knew a few people there, but and then we realized that some other friends of ours were camping on the other side of the lake, and so we had not seen them in particular for seems like a year. And then we get over there and had no idea it was her birthday, younger kids. And so then there was this whole group of people. So even though we just stopped to say hi for a minute, when you say hi to 15 people, like we were there another 2 hours. So
yeah, typically how it goes.
when I got in the AC, dude, it was like all she wrote.
Yeah, like
But
it'd be like one of those Midwestern goodbyes. I mean,
it 100% is.
Yeah.
You're saying hello and goodbye all in the same 15 minutes for each person. But
yeah,
what I love about it is like we weren't necessarily planning on going to the wedding. We're not super close with the people that got married, but close with their family. And they were like so happy that we showed up. Not the family, the people getting married. And so it is nice to like feel that love, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then of course see people that you may not see all the time and get a visit with them. And then go into the next campsite and all the love that's shown to us from these people that we truly love these people. And it just makes you feel good. And then bring the two of the 9 grandkids home and have them hang out. And I quickly forget how fast a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old can destroy a house. And it's weird. I mean, we're still in the unpacking phase of things. It could take a year or two to do that. But even me, amongst the chaos, I was like, man, these kids are terrorists sometimes. Yeah. Their stuff was everywhere.
And they get loud too. It's crazy how crazy those little kids are and how loud them little kids can be, man. It is wild.
It was fun though.
They're probably 2 foot tall, 3
They're
foot
midgets
maybe.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. Especially Abe's, he's 2.
Yeah, Abe's tiny, man.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was just for being as grumpy as I was to have that return of joy, especially since I didn't deserve it. And today was amazing, dude. It's Transfiguration Sunday. So
Transfiguration.
If you're pay attention to the church calendar, it's Transfiguration Sunday, which I think sometimes, and it got brought up today a few times, is we think of church holidays, Christmas, Easter, you know,
Transfiguration.
You know, you think of Pentecost. I mean, we celebrate a lot of them at Mary Mag.
So what's Transfiguration for the audience there?
For the Transfiguration of Christ on the mountain with Moses and Elijah and the 3 apostles, James, John, and Peter, which there's significance to every working aspect of it. And I love, it's just like anytime we read scripture, you know, like when we were last year going through the Bible study, and we were doing chapter by chapter, and it would be like 5 of us with 5 different kind of little takes on how it hit us. And so it kind of just hit different today. And the main thing we talked about was assurance. Why was Moses and Elijah there? That was the question that was posed. And the end answer is they were there for assurance. Even though they did all these great things and this great, Moses and leading the children of Israel out of Egypt and going to the promised land. You got Elijah who did all these great miracles. And, then and in the end, they both had doubt, right? And so I immediately go, and I think it's Luke 12, maybe, where Lazarus and the rich man, and there's a conversation after death that's happening of an awareness. So all these people that died before Christ are living in wait for a Messiah, right? Now, I would think if they knew and there's confirmation there, I think the book would say it, right? Or any ancient writings, but that's not the way it's really. There's just not. There's not a lot on it. And so Elijah, who struggled with Jezebel and wanted to, praying for God to take him. Moses, who, pretty much just struggled from day one all the way to the end. Not necessarily always with himself, but with the people he was trying to lead. You get it. Needed the assurance. Both of them asked to see God's glory and didn't get to see it per se. Moses had to hide his face in the corner of a rock, and all as Elijah got was go to this place, and then he hears, "Why are you doing this?" Right? So they had to wait till the transfiguration to get their request fulfilled.
Yeah.
They had to have that assurance. And then, of course, you have Peter, who's just being Peter, and he says, "Let's build you some tabernacles." and at the same time, he's registering, why am I saying this stupid thing that I'm saying, you know? But it just brings such a humanity to the event.
Yeah.
And a long time ago, I loved John Piper, and I was reading some stuff that he put out. And the main takeaway and the quote that was shareable was, if you don't have doubt, you're a liar. And it's not, it's an expression of doubt that is not you question that God is who he says he is. It's this question of doubt of, does God know me?
Yeah.
Right? Because we have these moments of conviction where we're like, there's no way I'm getting in.
I don't know. I think you could have doubts on all the above, depending on the time, where you're at.
Yeah.
I've had doubts on about every single thing, I would think.
You think of John the Baptist when he sends his apostles or disciples, to where Jesus is being tried or wherever, where he's at, and says, "Are you really who you say you are?" And this is the dude that leapt in the womb from the Holy Spirit, knowing that he's within this much distance of the Messiah. You know what I mean? Like, his whole life was devoted to leading the way for this guy. And at the end of his life, he says, "Are you really who you say you are?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It gets wild. I don't know. I think that it's such a stretch for us sometimes to put this human nature to Scripture, and that outside of God, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus Christ, it's all about humanity, right? And our need for a Savior, obviously. And so, I don't know, dude. From the moment I knew it was Transfiguration Sunday, I had a pretty good idea, in my head. I was like, well, because people ask, well, what do you think John's going to preach about? Well, I don't know. It's Transfiguration Sunday. Probably Luke or Matthew, I don't know. And then he ties it to the Old Testament.
I always love how he does that.
Oh, he's so good at it. I do. But it wasn't, we get this history lesson, we get the Scripture, but we get this, a majority of people that we're probably sitting there going through is, especially with the state of the world and the things that are happening, people need assurance. And in Scripture where it talks about that part where it's like, you guys have seen me and your faith wavers, how much greater is the faith for the people that don't get to see me?
Right. That have to rely solely on the faith.
Yeah. But once you get in tune, then you start seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
And when
seeing
you don't,
the unseen,
that's when you need the assurance, but yeah, this hit me.
Sometimes, just make sure you have assurance. Sometimes if you're going if I'm getting guided and directed. Sometimes I like that assurance to make sure I'm on that right path, man.
Yeah.
Because how easy it is to get misled, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Even in that aspect.
So you start having doubts there. You'll have those doubts like you talked about, things of that sort. That'd be another doubt that creeps in on you.
It's going to happen. And I think doubt is, I don't know off the top of my head, another word that would be comparable. I mean, just doubt fits so well, but it's not a lack of things. It's almost this doubt of being like in a questioning spot. That's probably okay. Mm-hmm. You know, Thomas gets in the upper room or whatever after Jesus comes back, and
he
doesn't believe the other disciples, and you would have to think that they're excited, like when you're in a room and someone's BSing you, you can tell they're BSing you. Mm-hmm. So you'd have to walk in this room and you're like, wait a minute, something's different here, boys. What's happened? Well, we saw the Messiah. Yeah. I don't know about that. Yeah. Are you sure it was him?
Yeah, and things aren't playing out exactly like they would have liked to have seen them. Probably things are I guess are happening around them or us. At any given point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Things just aren't going as you thought they would be going.
Yeah.
Having a little bit more struggles than you anticipated. And you're like, man, if this is the right path, why is it so rough at times?
What it really shows is humanity hasn't changed much since the fall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could look through history, you look through Bible history, any of it, confirming it with science and archaeological things, and you see this cycle of things that happen.
Yeah.
And so Elijah is at this moment in times with Ahab and Jezebel. I think it's Ahab and Jezebel. And he's basically telling them, first off, you're going to let these people go do their thing. You're not going to enslave them anymore. And since you're not being obedient, there's a drought coming. And they pray to this god of Baal for rain. Story goes on. And I mean, it's just the humanity of the human things that are happening at this moment in time. And then you look outside and it's like the driest 20 years we've had. And, and you look at the things that are happening and it makes you kind of beg the question, how does I hate to use the word punishment. How does God's authority play out to the same thing? So he's saying, all right, you guys aren't following me. Now I'm going to give you a drought.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you call out for me.
Yeah. I think a lot of that plays into a lot. I do.
Today, though.
Yeah. No, I do. I think so. I kind of touched on it on our last show. You know what I mean? I was like, I think we just ultimately, regardless of our political leaders or whatever, I think it plays out as what we need as a collective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if we are off and we're not doing things to obedience, we're not working our purpose correctly, or we're off and we're just, feeling our fleshly desires as a whole, I think as a whole, we start to get punished, man, if you can use that word for it. Or
discipline, maybe.
Discipline might be a little bit better. Yeah. And if we're not, and then you talk about cycles, and then that's why I think we constantly stay on this cycle, man, because we just, as a whole, we just don't get it.
Right.
And then we continue to just run this course, man, this huge cycle over time and time and time. And then, then we start getting it, then we'll start getting it and through discipline and correction and whatnot. As a whole, we begin to move closer to God, closer to that divine nature. And then all of a sudden, we're getting what we need. We're getting, everything's getting fulfilled, and then we get laxed, man. We start getting comfortable, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, then at those points, then, your flesh starts to kind of get a little bit, kind of likes that, and then starts, disconnecting once again.
Yeah.
So then you just live that constant cycle, man.
We're created to like things that feel good.
Yeah.
We have to use good discernment on what's healthy and unhealthy. And,
comes down to choices.
Yeah. Well, we always have that. We always have a choice.
Yeah, always got a choice, man.
Yeah, I know. And I've ate those words a couple times in my life. But we talked about that Friday in group.
Only a couple, huh?
Only a couple, yeah.
Doing pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Doing pretty good.
Well, now I feel obligated to tell this story.
Yeah, you don't have to tell this story. Go ahead if you want, man.
I'll just say that there was one time where I said you always have a choice, and then shortly after that, it was brought up that I was tardy, I guess, or took too long, and I said, "Well, I'd have a choice." And Trish was like, "Hey,
Hey.
like, oh, you got me."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. There is a choice. Like I said, we talked about it Friday in group. There's 20 guys in there, and I said, "Is anybody in there ever had somebody put a gun to their head and make them take drugs?"
Yeah.
No, of course nobody raises their hand.
Yeah.
So you still have this choice, and it makes it so simple. It's like anything. I have a choice, on what I put in my body. I have a choice if I want to honor my routine. I have all these things, and a lot of times, I'll just be honest, I make the bad choice.
Yeah.
It's not a life or death thing, but I could make a better choice. Even though, it might not be the worst choice in the world. I don't know. I just saying I think that there's definitely some things, especially with my food intake.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time last week reading about that. And then I got excited because I seen a post on Facebook, because they actually have Overeaters Anonymous groups, right? And so I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to open one in Hutch. And then I realized, no, it was a skinny guy making fun of fat people.
Oh,
There's no group coming to Hutch. It was like a meme, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was like a little caption, and I was like, oh, they're going to bring a group to Hutch.
Got him.
Got me. Yeah. And then after that, it made me feel bad. So I had a bunch of ice cream and cookies, but
Man, I do, man. I like some ice cream.
I know it's hard.
I fight that choice every now and again.
Oh, I don't fight it. I just eat the ice cream, dude.
See, I don't, man. Especially, I just don't. Sometimes I do, but
Well, and a lot of people, they would, and I am a glutton for a lot of things. I'm a glutton for punishment. But gluttony is not just food intake. Gluttony is a lot of different,
oh yeah,
it's whatever.
whatever you're taking in.
Well, just that period. It kind of becomes idolatry. You could be a glutton to running, to be quite honest.
Oh, yeah.
It could overtake you in a way that, everything, or alcohol or any of those things. It doesn't, the list goes on. Social media
Too much of anything
is bad.
is. Oh yeah, I don't know if you could say too much of anything, but
Well, I think anything in moderation for the most part is good.
yeah.
And I would stretch that to alcohol and even cigarettes. People that smoke occasionally. I don't know what occasionally is. A couple cigarettes a month.
Yeah,
You know
if you
what
can
I
do
mean?
that, I think
Or
you're
a
just
cigar.
fine.
Maybe cigarettes is a bad one.
I guess
to
I
use.
do
A
cigars
cigar.
because I do cigars in moderation. You know what I mean? Because I used to smoke, and if I'm really
At
wanting a
that point,
cigarette,
it's not necessarily about nicotine intake either.
Yeah, no.
'Cause there's other. I use the, and people probably see me eating them all the time, is the nicotine pouches.
Yep.
But and I definitely notice a difference when I'm stressed out. I might go buy a pack, and the last pack I had lasted me 3 weeks.
Yeah. See those? I was chewing those when I was coming off those cigarettes, but I don't know. I found that they were raising my my heart rates.
Yeah.
Like I could feel that heart
It's
rate.
a direct
moving.
shot of nicotine.
Yeah,
basically.
man. So I got off those, and I just stick to the old chaw, man.
Yeah.
The old chaw, that chew tobacco.
I kind of miss that.
Yeah, my
Every
man.
once in a while, I'll get a whiff of. I like Copenhagen snuff though, and it definitely. I haven't had a dip since 2020, and there was a fellow that come through that had a can of that, and I could smell it in his bag. We have property bags right in our little closet, so I could smell it as soon as I opened that little cabinet door. I could smell that Copenhagen, and my mouth was watering.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, the just smell of it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. It'll get you going for sure.
And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I don't necessarily miss it because I don't miss the heartburn, and I don't miss the little stomach grumblings and stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
see if like Copenhagen, that would give me some good heartburn. Man, I stick to that this good old Longhorn wintergreen,
Yeah,
man.
see.
And that doesn't give me much heartburn. I don't know, it doesn't really affect me much, I suppose.
And there again, anything I think in moderation, I don't think I see issues with it.
Yeah, but I mean, I can get
There's
one of
way
those
worse
little
things.
buckets, and
Last
man,
fall month.
oh yeah, lasts me. I mean, minimum 3 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and then only like $20, so I'm saving a ton of money.
Yeah.
That's like $20 for 3 weeks of my habit there. When I was smoking, it was like, shoot, man, $10 a day probably.
Oh yeah, pack of smokes for the good ones are $11.
Yeah,
Dude.
11, 12. I can't remember what it was when I stopped. I think it was almost getting up to 12.
Yeah.
I smoked those native cigarettes. Are they native? What are they called?
The American Spirits.
American Spirits. Yeah, American Spirits.
Those are the all natural. Those are like $15 a pack.
Are they? Yeah, they were.
One time
I
I went
they
to
kept
buy-
just going up, man. But you could smoke them, and I never, when I was smoking those,
Yeah, but
I
one
wouldn't have
lasts you for
smoker
hours.
stuff. I wouldn't have none of that stuff, man.
Yep.
But,
So the majority of a cigarette is made up of cardboard.
Yeah.
At first I said, oh, BS, and then I did the research myself, and I was like, holy smokes, it is. I mean, it's a federal mandated minimum amount of tobacco in each cigarette, and about 80% of it's cardboard.
even on the American Spirits.
No. Most Marlboro, any of those.
Okay,
That's why.
they put so much like different chemicals in there, man. It's like
So
terrible for you.
what the part that's addictive and stimulating is the nicotine, and so they soak these very, very, very thin cardboard sheets basically in a nicotine solution.
No way.
At first, I thought it would be like kind of an oil, but it's not. It looks like it's like a brown. It looks like pond water, kind of, and then it goes in, and then they cut it into tiny, tiny strips, and then they go in with the tobacco in this big drum, and they spin it up in there.
Kids, and they cut the tobacco with cardboard dipped
Yeah,
nicotine.
it has to be a certain percentage.
Wow.
It has to be a certain percentage of real tobacco, and I could be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, but I feel like it was like 20% real tobacco, 80% filler, and it might be the other way. Maybe it's 80% tobacco.
Either way, though, that's
But
crazy.
in the end, the consumption's high enough that it didn't change. But when they first started doing these regulations, these tobacco farmers and stuff were concerned because it would drive the price down.
Yeah.
Because now they don't need just tobacco, because they can just create their own out of cardboard.
That is wild. Yeah, because then how do you know you're even smoking tobacco? You know what I mean?
And here's why I don't trust anyone. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I
Roll
stick.
my own.
And then even when it came down to smoking, I stuck with the organic. You know what I mean? Because at least
That's
I
just
know
a
I'm
label.
getting tobacco. You know what's crazy too is well, now I would disagree on those cigarettes, man. Those cigarettes, man, I smoked. Them
I'm
for
saying
years.
organic is just a label.
Nah, I don't know. I disagree with that because even when you go to like chickens, like I know people that have worked out there, the cow main or whatever, and they do chickens and they do eggs. And if they write, organic, they have to have,
Certain things.
I mean, they have to have land. They have to basically pick out a pot of land. I don't know, can't hold me to this by no means, but I'm just remembering conversations I've had with these fellas. They say they have to get like a plot of land. They will fence it off, and you can't put no chemicals, nothing down for like 6 or 7 years. And then once they've had that fenced off for that period of time, then they can start bringing in chickens on this, because even the
Well,
land
so
where
now-
they put the chickens can't have any chemicals on it.
Now that even changes now because you have free range organic, because you can grow organic chickens in a barn, right? Based on what you feed them.
Yeah, or what land they're on. Are you putting chemicals down on that land? If that's the case, then it can't be organic.
So certified organic feed has to be certified organic feed. And weirdly enough, just out of South Hutch, they sell truckloads of organic feed to organic dairies and organic chicken mills,
Yeah.
what I call them, but chicken farms. And most of that feed comes from Canada, which you're talking a difference of acreage, you know what I mean? So crop rotations and rebuilding nutrients is different than is America, because most people here are triple crop, double crop, whatever, cover crops, all kinds of stuff that's just leaching nutrients out of the ground. Years ago when I was doing fertilizer and pesticides, a friend of mine was telling me we had to start putting sulfur on fields, which never had to be done.
Wow.
And I don't know, it was his dad, I think, who was an agronomist, super smart guy, and chemist and stuff, said basically it amounts to that there's not enough pollution, because the pollution is what creates the sulfur in the rain that gives the micronutrient that is extremely hard to get.
Right.
So your crops grow better.
Huh. I'll be dang.
Yeah. And so I thought that was interesting. And if you can do some quick research tonight while you're bored and look up sulfur mining,
Yeah.
and it is pretty gross what people go through to get that.
Yeah, that's kind of a trip.
It is. And so here we have this thing of better clean up the air, and I don't buy into all that crap anyways, but
And then
I'm taking it away now. We've done something that's in this natural cycle of things,
right.
right?
Huh.
You think say there's nothing and trees are dying and different things and they're degrading and they're causing gases, methanes and sulfur or something. I can't even know, it's big long. It's not sulfur itself. It's like a sulfur oxide gas, something. Minimal amounts worldwide going up, being collected, and then coming back down. It's always happened. I'll readily admit it happens at an increased rate because of man-made things that we do, but the natural effect of it was already happening. Decomposition creates that effect. Just saying.
Decomposition. Yeah, it would create almost a fertilizer at that point. Yeah.
So that goes up and then comes back down.
Right back down.
Yeah.
The cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to have that micronutrient, and he attributes it to that because there's other places in the world where there's a lot of pollution. They don't have to use the micronutrient sulfur. Just saying.
That's pretty good, man.
I thought it was interesting. Kind of, clued me into this. I'm just like, I thought it seemed very strange, but, a little bit of reading and talking to other people, I was like, it kind of checks out.
I'll be dang.
So it is, but yeah, I digress. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on that one.
Me and Trish celebrate a 5-year anniversary.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's kind of a
5
big
years,
deal.
man. That's a huge deal, man. 5 years. That's a big deal.
For me, it's the longest I've been in a relationship without a break. I'm just saying. I was with the boys' mom for the better part of like 16 years, but there was a year that we were split up.
Yeah.
And then almost divorced once and back together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've really been thinking about that a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Even at church today, this is the longest I've stayed in a church. Outside of being a kid and being told where to go.
Ryan's becoming a little bit grounded there.
I could be.
Yeah.
If I work at this job much longer, it'll be the longest I kept a job without a break.
Yeah.
I don't know. The industries I've always worked in, it's like, it's competitive. So I'm in a truck seat here, and you got this guy saying, well, they'll pay you 6 cents more a mile.
Yeah.
And a better truck. And so, of course, you go.
Yeah, you gotta go.
And the longevity of it really is what you make while your wheels are turning anyways. If you're smart, you're putting money back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the get ahead is in what you can do. And then the same way when I worked at a couple different co-ops, and I started at one and it paid $12 an hour, and the one down the road paid 18. Why wouldn't you go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I gotta switch it up.
Yeah. And sometimes I just get mad and leave.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, I don't know. I didn't go to school, and so I didn't have like a career path, or any of those things.
I'm sitting here thinking, like, I think there's only one job where I got mad and left through all my time working. Only one job. Not have been probably 18 at that time, 17, 18.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where the manager just, they were just doing things that I just didn't like.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. At that time I felt, you know what I mean? Felt a little attacked, getting messed with. And I was like, I'm over this. And I walked out. Other than that, I think that's the only job I've ever done that at. Huh. But I'm the type of guy, though, I stay at my jobs, for quite some time, man.
Yeah.
So.
I'm
not driving semis either, so.
I don't do that anymore. I don't have much desire on it. In June, I had a desire to do it.
Yeah, dude, there's no way. I don't think I just don't. I mean, I guess I could, but there's no way I'd really want to do that. Just drive all the time. I just couldn't.
I love it,
man.
I loved it.
Yeah, I could not.
I
get so tired of driving.
In my youth, we would get off work. Me and one of my, I don't talk to him as much, close personal friend, and either his pickup or mine, and we would just drive and do things that we weren't supposed to be doing. Of course, we weren't out stealing anything, but we were drinking and smoking and carrying on with cocaine and stuff, and driving hundreds of miles, dude. We left Hutch one time, drove to Russell. From Russell, we drove to Pratt, back to McPherson, then back to Russell, Kansas. And it was constant that. He lived south of Hutch, I lived out north of Hutch, so between our houses was 40 miles.
Yeah.
And it was 3, 4, 5 times a night back and forth.
Man.
All dirt roads.
Yeah, no way. Yeah. I get tired just driving to Wichita, man.
My dad was paying my fuel bill then. It was nice.
Oh, man.
Now I cringe. I'm like, how many stops because I get one trip, and I'm going to get the minimum miles. Like, I just, when I said to start paying that on my own. But I just always had enjoyed it. I loved it. The alone time, I'm an isolator, so that was nice. But dude, I did so much in that. I mean, not all the time, but I read so much.
Yeah.
I mean, just books and books and books and books. And I tried to use my time wisely when I was sitting around. But yeah, I just enjoyed it, getting out and going places. You meet a lot of people.
Yeah, I like that aspect of it, I suppose. Like when you get to your destination, that part of that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
But just from getting from A to B, all that stagnant time, that's what would just drive me
Yeah,
nuts,
but it's
man.
only stagnant. You make it stagnant.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd have podcasts rolling or music that I enjoyed,
Yeah.
or sometimes I'd just sit in silence, turn my CB, my stereo off, and
Yeah.
just hammer
On
down.
the old open road.
Yeah. And I did a lot of my driving at night because there's less traffic. And so then it was even more like this atmosphere thing, too. It was just quiet and the solitude. And you're cruising through West Texas desert. All you see is stars, 100 miles in between towns and stuff.
yeah.
I really rather
It does
enjoyed
get beautiful out there in those open countries, though. I do like that.
And I wasn't hauling merchandise. I was hauling grain and,
Yeah.
farm equipment and stuff. And so it mattered there because the type of people I got to be around is mostly ag. That's what I'm, accustomed to. So I don't know. I do. But I don't miss that not being home. Like I get to see stuff happen now. And so, and just even having Kai and Abe's last night just solidifies that.
Yeah. For sure.
If I was still driving, I wouldn't be sitting here. I'd be gearing up to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, always on the move.
Yep. Oh yeah.
If you're not moving, you're not making money, I suppose.
Yeah, if your wheels ain't turning, there ain't no dollars happening.
Yep.
Not at all. And I was good at it. I really was good at it. And so, but anyways,
Yeah.
what's on the agenda for the week?
I don't know. My week's, I don't know that I really have much going on, Ryan. I think I'm going to try to, like I said, try to stay to those morning runs for a while, build some discipline into that, and force myself up in those early mornings.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I got planned.
I'm
don't
waiting
know.
on the kid to get that cold plunge going.
Yeah. Yep. I would like to take a cold plunge. I was talking about that with my buddy Joey yesterday.
Yeah.
And he even asked me, he's like, hey, you guys get that cold plunge going? I think he's wanting to jump in.
Yeah.
And I was like,
all I got to do is fill it with
Not
water. I
yet.
can go get ice from
yeah.
the kitchen, but
Yeah.
it was so much more convenient to just plug
Oh.
it in.
Man, and Chase, man, sent me something yesterday and on the old Instagram. And it had a guy that did, built one kind of like we did with that, with a deep freezer. And they make a actual like thermometer.
Oh yeah, that shuts it on and off.
Yeah, where you can plug it in, hook it into the deep freeze, and it regulates your temperature so we don't get a big old solid block of ice in there.
Yeah.
And we can
I don't
keep
think we'd have to worry about that as much right now just because it's so hot out. But
right.
this fall, Max, oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
That's a perfect spot to sit,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah.
Right on all this stuff.
Yeah. But and it could regulate the temperature, so I like that. I was looking at that, so I saved the picture of it. I'm gonna try to see if I can find one on Amazon, maybe.
I've already looked. Yeah, they're $60.
Yeah.
For they had cheaper ones on Temu, but I just like, man.
Yeah, I don't know about Temu, man.
Yeah. I thought too.
Hit or miss,
even-
man. Hit or miss
I
on
thought
there.
about going with one that just has that's a timer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if it was on,
Yeah.
have it go for like 4 hours overnight, and then if we had a set schedule where like we're going to plunge at 7 p.m., then I'd have it go from like 5 to 6.
Yeah. Oh, just set it on a timer.
Yeah. So it kicks on and off.
Like $2.
Yeah. Well, I have 10 of them in a box, dude, from the school bus. But I don't know. There was I did, and I was going back watching because we videoed all the ones we did last year, and going back and watching them, how we responded to them, and then how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Going through that. And so I definitely like, but I will be always the first one to say it's one of the hardest things I've ever done.
Yeah. Oh, it was tough, man.
It was so hard to get in that.
So hard to get in there, and it and it doesn't get easier.
No,
It almost
that's why I
actually
kind of
gets
want to see
harder.
how the kids do.
It actually
you know
almost
what I mean?
gets harder. Yeah,
Because each
Yeah.
time. Now, the after effects are amazing.
man, they are
Slept
too.
good. The heat didn't bother me as much.
Yeah, I mean, all around, just feel better. Well, it just goes in hand with doing things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Good things come from doing
My
things you don't want
anxiety a
to
lot.
do. Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, but yeah, I should just fill that thing up and get a couple buckets of ice and hop in there.
yeah. We should just do like a little 3 minute. 3 minute at what,
45.
45,
48
yeah,
degrees,
45, somewhere in there,
There at
45.
the tail end, we were getting anywhere from 5 to 8 minutes at 36 degrees.
Oh, yeah, it was getting cold in there, buddy. Yeah. And, I remember I did that long one, and I don't know that I think it was less beneficial.
It depends on why you're getting in.
Yeah, but I think 3 minutes was I felt the best
Yeah.
when I got out of there.
Most everything I've read, 3 minutes was the minimum to get to get the full benefit of it. Minimum was 3 minutes, and anywhere from 36 to 46 degrees.
Yeah.
If you're going in there for certain types of pain, then that's where you would go 6 to 8 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like Wim Hof, he's in there. I mean, for his
that guy's
65th
crazy,
birthday, he
man.
went 65 minutes of
Yeah.
like freezing temperature water. Of course,
That
he's
guy's
well
unreal.
acclimated to it. But I was following this old man, and during the week when he cold plunged, he would just cold plunge, but he would do 20 minutes at 45 degrees.
Yeah.
Now on the weekends, he said he treated himself. So after his cold plunge, that he got in the sauna.
Oh, yeah.
And he talked about the benefit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And he said some people to go backwards. They sauna, then cold
They
plunge,
say I was
back and
I was
forth.
talking to my wife, maybe I can't remember. Yeah, I think it was the wife, and she said there's some lady out there that speaks on it, and she says it's best to do the cold last.
Yeah.
You do the heat first, and then the cold,
Yeah.
and you get out, do heat, and then you end with cold,
Yeah,
and it like closes all your pores and everything, kind of seals you up.
right. And there again, it's for different purpose.
Yeah.
How you look at that. But yeah, there's like little overseas, lots of areas where they have the cold plunge saunas, all in these there'll be a number of cold plunge tubs and sauna little huts and stuff, and almost like an open, not gym because there's no weights and
Yeah.
bikes and things, but and so they were interviewing the people, and some would cold plunge for whatever, and they would give great reasons for both. And for me, my main one was pain, and it did help a lot with PTSD and anxiety,
Yeah.
which
Oh,
I
for
wasn't
sure.
expecting that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's something to it, but it'll be interesting to see what happens when they get that kicked off. And
Yeah. I wish they would have one at the Y. I got a membership at the Y.
I'm surprised they don't.
And they're getting ready to build that new one over here, and that's supposed to they're going to start doing groundwork, I think, in September.
Yeah.
And so then 18 months, they said, was kind of the estimated completion time. So I'm hoping maybe they put some cold plunges in there, because you wouldn't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been in a single locker room that didn't have an ice bath.
Yeah, it's like, why would you not have a cold plunge in there? Because it would operate just like a swimming pool.
And part of me feels like
Just have
when I was a
chlorine
kid,
running
they
through
had
it,
one in
filter
there.
in, and you just sit in there, man. You don't even need the ice, You just get the water cold.
Yeah. Well, Ash bought like just a stock tank, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're going to make ice, but they do make I was watching Rogan the other day, and he was talking about what he uses in his, and it's like a water circulator
Yeah.
that's,
Yep.
keeps your water.
I seen a kid that made one too, and he just used like a big aquarium filter,
Yeah.
and he just put that to circulate the water in there,
Yeah.
and then mixed Epsom salt and
Well, I'm saying this one kept it cold also.
no kidding.
Circulation.
Oh no, this one was at a
But it
deep
was
freezer.
yeah, but I know what you're
Like
talking
ours.
about
Yeah.
to keep the water clean.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just put a lot of pool chemicals in ours, so,
Yeah.
which seems to do all right. Bleach
Yeah.
baths for me are actually a good thing
Yeah.
because of the skin problems I have. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a good week. If it goes as well as my Sunday has gone, it's going to be the best week ever,
Yeah, I'm saying that best week ever for
Yeah.
sure, man. Without a doubt.
without a doubt, for sure. When are we going to try to do this again?
I don't care, man. Let
Well,
me know.
on Tuesday we're going to be at Mary Mag,
Okay.
so
Yeah, we'll fit one in.
yeah, definitely.
Maybe something will kick off. We can talk about it a little bit.
Dude, I have a list of things I wanted to talk about, but I'm so hyper focused on this Transfiguration
Yeah,
sermon and stuff.
Transfiguration is good.
And
though.
it is. It was good. But there is a lot going on in the world still with the Olympics and people complaining about this and that. And
Yeah, maybe we talk about the Olympics
yeah,
on the next show.
that'll give me a couple days to get caught up. I have not watched a podcast since Thursday.
Man.
That's weird for me.
Yeah, it was probably my last one. I watched Chad Wright, I think, on Thursday. I was talking Trish on that bike ride.
Yep.
And I really want to do that bike ride too after I
Yeah.
seen him. Then now that guy from Hutch is doing it, man. I'm like, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah. No,
That
I
sounds
think it'd
fun
be
to
good.
me.
Yeah.
I just have to get a bike. that could maintain the mountain climbing and all that. My gravel bike, I just don't think could cut it.
Nah.
So things to look
probably
forward.
rent one.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't
bet
think
they
about
have
that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
I think if I did it, the rental I would prefer would be like a Kawasaki 500.
I identify as a mountain bike.
I got to tell one more story, dude, because it cracks me up, man. Have you seen those electric bikes with the big tires?
Oh, we sell them out at work, dude.
Okay, so they scoot,
like,
30 mile an hour, but you can pedal them also.
Well, the ones we got are 20 miles an hour.
Okay, they zoom. I don't care.
Oh, they're fun, dude. They got those big old fat tires.
Yeah. Hunters
use them too. We sell them at work because we do the Elevate stuff. So a lot of hunters use those bikes to like backpack in and
go to
their tree stands or whatnot.
Definitely. I think they're cool. So
Yeah.
dude's got his bike and it had a flat tire, and of course, monster tire. So he fixes it and realizes he doesn't have his battery.
Oh yeah.
And so, he pedaled it a little bit and he brought it back. He's like, I'll go get my battery.
Yeah, dude, those things to pedal those would be just
they're monsters.
Dude, they are heavy, and they're the ones that we have. That you can pedal them too, but it's more like a pedal assist because
to get it started.
Well, no, you don't have to pedal it at all. You can just throttle it.
Oh yeah.
But if you just move the pedals while you're going, and it just comes natural when you're on the bike anyways to kind of do that, but that'll actually help charge up the battery while you're doing it. I mean, it's still going to die eventually, but the battery will actually last longer because you're kind of charging up while you're pedaling.
Well, I would think it would take less demand if you started off pedaling and then juice it up with some electricity.
Yeah, dude, just try to pedal that thing without the throttle. Like you said, man, them bikes are heavy.
Zero desire to even get on a bike, electric or not.
Man, and what I really like to doing is if I'm out there on them roads, on my bike, I like passing those guys, man, on those electric bikes.
Yeah,
and just smoke them.
Well, yeah, because they have a top speed.
Yeah,
whatever you can throttle up to, your top speed is whatever you can pump your legs at.
Up, yeah. So I like it. I think it's funny. A lot of them I've seen go about 20 miles an hour. But I mean, unless you got unless I see some of those guys, they make their own bikes and put their own engines on there. Some of those things fly, dude.
Oh, the little gassers.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, we had some guys in Oxford that had it.
Oh yeah, they're rocking it.
The one dude had it on just like a Huffy from Walmart.
Yeah.
And he had to change his back. He had to change his back sprocket out, but I mean, all the bushings and stuff there was a little loose.
Yeah, a little sketchy.
He was a little bitty guy, so he's like, "Oh, you can ride a drink." No,
no, I'm good, man.
First off, the seat's too skinny for my fat butt.
Yeah, for real though.
It is. It's going to be a good week.
Yeah, cool. Anyways, Ryan, till next time, buddy.
I love you, brother.
Love you too, brother. One love. Shalom.
See you guys. We love you.